Distressed wife asks husband to cut off his beard. Instead, he decides to do something unbelievable. Their relationship had a long run, and all they could dream about was a wonderful life together. When you love somebody, you try to impress them in every single way you can. You try to look perfect. You carry a grace that you hope your partner would notice. For some people, that becomes a lifetime phenomenon. But for people like Travis, all that remains important is the journey that you want to live with and for your family. Connie is Travis's wife and loves her dear husband with everything she has. But the one thing that stings her after all these years of marriage is that Travis no longer cared about his looks. He has grown his beard long, and despite Connie telling him several times to trim it down or to maintain it, looks like Travis is least interested. Connie has grown somewhat frustrated by this ignorance of her husband. Will this make the road difficult for the couple, or does Travis has in place a surprise plan for his lovely partner? Their marriage had everything in perfection, love at its place. Travis was doing well with his business, but the only thing that Connie was not exactly irritated but upset about was that her husband was not exactly the same Travis she had loved. He was no longer interested in grooming himself and kept an untidy and irregular beard. What might have been the reason for him to do so? Travis was a wonderful partner. He made sure that he spent enough time with his family, gave them whatever they desired, but after so many years of marriage and relationship with Connie, Travis no more felt the need of grooming himself. He was sure that his wife would love him no matter what. He was not exactly the same always. When he first met Connie, he made sure that he was well groomed because he wanted to impress the lady he loved, but as time passed he lost his will to groom himself. Though she never made it evident, Connie was still waiting for her husband to sense her desire and trim that beard off. She was not happy about her husband's new look for several reasons. Her deepest desire was to see a makeover. The beard dominated Travis' face so much that his smile was hardly visible. Connie was only tall enough to receive a face full of beard when she expected a long hug. The beard would spoil the romance every time. Connie desperately wanted to get back to the man she fell in love with. It was evident that none of Connie's requests were being heard, and Travis was in no mood to remove those bushy beards off his face. She had finally understood that she would never be able to see her husband's beardless face again, and she learned to live with it. She did not insist on shaving the beard off anymore. One of the major reasons why Travis was reluctant to trim off the beard was that he felt that his look complemented his profession and believed that it was one of the main reasons behind the success he had achieved in the business. Travis is from Atlanta, Georgia, and was into a profession that he had a knack for. The family lived in Georgia, and Travis co-founded an ale brewing company there. He always had a knack for brewing, and everyone he knew was aware that he was made for the job. He had some serious expertise in the job, and knowing this, he launched Scofflaw Brewing Company in his hometown. The business was soaring high. Travis spent a lot of time inside the brewery working, and this made him stay away from the outer world for a significant time of the day. The only time he would spend out of the brewery was with his family, who he thought would not judge him on his unkempt look, and this is what led him to keep the beardy look. Though his wife wasn't a big fan of his look, it surely made him look like a brewmaster. Travis had grown least interested in grooming his looks, but he would occasionally get his hair dressed in a buzzcut when they grew too long. Many of the craft beer fans who came to the brewery were very fascinated with Travis' look, and some of them even carried the same appearance. This appreciation made Travis think that this look would certainly aid his business. The look might have gone well with Travis's customers, but Connie disliked the beard with all her might. Travis was aware that his wife was not a big fan of his beard. He knew that she wanted him to either cut off his bushy facial hair or at least brush them to keep it groomed. Travis had a bizarre idea of not grooming or combing his hair. Connie means a lot to Travis, and he need not prove it with anything, but he wanted to do something to make sure that Connie feels special. He knew the best he could do for Connie was to give her the old Travis. The Travis whom Connie had fallen in love with and so desperately wanted back. He had now decided what surprise he had to plan. He contacted Rachel Ray Show, who had a makeover team that could assist Travis in this situation. Rachel Ray Show is a daytime TV program. The time had come to carry out the process of change and finally see how Connie would react after he comes in front of her. Travis knew he would only be able to pull this off with professional assistance. He also believed that his plan would not be accomplished just by trimming off his beard, but he would need a complete styling. For this assistance, Kyan Douglas, a personal groomer, was called in and was given the task of a lifetime makeover. This grooming task was not an easy one. Not only did they need to carry out a lifetime makeover, but they had to also make sure that Connie had no idea what was going on. What took it to another level was the fact that they had to do it in Travis' house, and all while Connie was fast asleep. The job might have been difficult, but Travis was in capable hands of Kyan. He and his team from the show had ensured that careful steps were taken and the journey towards the makeover was spirited and planned. It was sure that things would be fine and Connie would be super happy. Kyan Douglas rose to fame with his makeovers in the TV show Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. He was quite liked by the audience and he soon became a celebrity stylist. This, though, was the first time he was doing a secret makeover like this. In the middle of the night, what they had to was a challenging task. It was 4 a.m. on a September morning when Douglas reached the Herman household with the camera and sound crew. The work of the crew was to record every event that unfolded throughout the makeover. They had to be sure that nothing missed out. It was the work of the camera and sound crew that it was uploaded on YouTube, and it went viral instantly. The story was well received by the people, and in no time Travis became a sensation and his surprise became an example for every couple. Everyone who was involved in the process was happy about the result they came up with. It is obviously not easy to smuggle in your house a complete TV crew early in the morning while making sure that nobody wakes up, especially Connie. They had to keep it slow and quiet. The whole plan was stuck on one pointer. The team could not afford to let Travis' wife know what they had in their box. The crew had arrived and set their equipment, but Travis was still waiting for the stylist, Kyan Douglas. It was only time when Kyan entered the house and Travis couldn't resist embracing him. The ground floor was chosen for the mission as the oblivious family was sleeping on the first. The major change that had to take place was unsurprisingly Travis' beard. Douglas knew that he would too need assistance from someone experienced, hence he had invited a renowned hairstylist, Patricia. She would work with him in not only removing the excess beard but also Travis' unkempt hair. Both Douglas and Patricia brainstormed on the look that would best suit Travis after the makeover. They finally shortlisted a few looks that they thought Travis would consider and went on to discuss it with the man of the hour. Travis was most welcoming of the suggestions as he felt he needed advice on how he should look to best surprise his wife. Douglas was of the opinion that before addressing the elephant in the room, the beard, he would need to have a look at his hair, and all he needed to do was use a buzzer to trim away the excess hair. Travis felt very positive about the way they were thinking and was ready to surrender to whatever the two stylists had on mind. Both of the stylists acknowledged that the major makeover for Connie to be surprised would be the beard, as that was the part she wanted to go. So trimming it short was not an option. Travis had to go clean shaven. All that Travis could say to this was, "Let's do this." He couldn't be more excited about anything. In a matter of hours, he was going to see a smile on Connie's face that he always wanted to see. It was decided that Travis would sport a fade cut on his head and a clean-shaven look on his face. The transformation finally began. The hair was, of course, not going to have a drastic change. Douglas said that after they were done with the cutting, they would apply some products to his hair in order to add texture and a finishing touch. Finally, Douglas and Patricia could focus on fuzz, and Travis' beard was all set to be trimmed off. The face was slowly revealing it to the world. It was an enchanting experience for Travis as he could feel the trimmer across his skin after so long. A slight smile appeared on his face. Patricia could sense the smile on Travis' face and asked him if he could feel the difference. She was only halfway through, but Travis said that one side of his face felt a lot heavier than the other and he could feel the air on the clean side. Even if Travis was not exactly happy about this, he was at least being a sport about this. As the facial hair went away, out came a beaming smile on Travis' face. After the touch-ups were done and he was finally ready to come before his wife, he too felt that his new look was awesome. Travis was looking much younger and like a handsome gentleman. He carried a wonderful smile on his face. Finally, everything that Douglas and Patricia could do to make Travis look handsome was done with, and they all felt that Travis could make 1,000 men jealous with this sporting new look. This had been a wonderful journey. From an unkempt brewer to a suave gentleman, Travis had completely transformed. Douglas now wanted Travis to wear something that would complement his new look, as the old clothes were too formal for this changed look. They wanted it to be a completely different experience for Connie. Douglas had already sorted out some good pair of clothes and opened his suitcase to offer Travis a range of choices. A good pair of dark jeans would go with everything and give a smart appearance. Douglas had also arranged for a pair of dark boots to go with the denim that would maintain the look. Finally came a denim shirt that perfectly complemented the boots and jeans. The dark outfit was shining with the newly revealed face. Now, after the transformation was complete, all Travis had to do was to wait for his wife to come downstairs and see for herself. Connie would come downstairs for breakfast, and that is when she would see her husband's new look. Usually, by this time, Connie would have been downstairs working on the breakfast, but Travis was not sure why she was taking this long today. The wait was longer and Travis was tempted to send her a text to get her rolling for the day. Everybody was waiting eagerly for the surprise to unravel, and they were curious about the reaction that would come up on Connie's face. Finally, Connie appeared, with a sleepy son in tow, and, "Oh my gosh," Connie exclaimed. Travis was confused if she could even recognize him, but she did. She ran downstairs and tightly wrapped Travis in her arms. All night she'd been thinking that Travis was at a poker game. Connie couldn't hide her joy. She was so happy to see Travis exactly how she saw him before marriage. She felt as if she was falling in love with him all over again. Connie loved the new breathless look and the clothes that he had put on. Everything seemed perfect for her. She couldn't stop tears from rolling down her cheeks. Nothing could have been a better surprise. Everything that went on that night was clearly recorded by the camera and sound crew. The video soon took over the internet and became a viral hit. The couple was invited to appear on The Rachel Ray Show. Upon being asked how she felt about the transformation, Connie candidly said that she had lost all hopes that she would ever see her husband's face again, but this surprise was wonderful and she was almost in tears. Connie told that she had missed this face for so long and wanted to see that smile again. She thanked the stylists, Ryan and Patricia, for the hard work that they put into her husband's transformation. This show was again a hit one. Connie also remembered that when she first met Travis, he couldn't even grow a beard. Travis was also fascinated with his new look but felt that it would need a lot more maintenance than his bushy beard look. It was too much for Travis to stick to. Just after a year since the transformation, he posted another picture on a social media handle in which he was back to being the old Travis with the beard back on his face. After his first makeover, Travis went through several changes in his looks. Of course, Connie did not like any as much as the clean-shaven look, but she couldn't help it. Here, Travis can be seen with his face and a head full of unruly hair and beard. We're not judging, but he could surely use a comb in here. We are sure Connie had to go through a lot to convince her husband to choose this look for the family photograph. He looks much cleaner here. Though the beard and hair are still there, the comb here has done its job. The photo shoot went well and the brewmaster looked good even with a fuzz of hair on his face. When his children grew a bit older, Travis kept a full hair look shorter than the usual though. As a trademark, he still kept his beards long. He might have grown back the beard, but this time it looked much more attended and tidier. One of the reasons being he didn't want any of his kids pulling on that facial hair. Travis was always open to experiments. As his hair grew longer, he decided to try something new yet again. It was all for fun. He chose a flashy mohawk and it surely made him look a lot younger, but it didn't last long as it needed a lot of attention and efforts to maintain a mohawk. Travis might not have been able to maintain his new look, but he was surely maintaining a soaring business franchise. In the past couple of years, his brewery had expanded tremendously and he was even successful in setting up a new location. He with his team now hosts festivals and events and people love his product. Travis loves his job and that has proved to be a boon for him. Travis might have looked like a gentleman without the beard, but his big bushy facial hair has now become a trademark. A similar look was adopted as one of Scofflaw Brewing's symbol. A crazy scientist dressed in goggles and a white long robe, and not to miss his long beard. This look suited him and he carried it with sheer confidence. Kyan, while he was busy transforming, Travis had given him several style tips, but Travis doesn't seem to remember even one of them. A recent picture posted by him shows how out of shape he has gotten. Fashion was never Travis's cup of tea. We hope he's able to maintain his health, if not his beard. Connie was disappointed when she learned that Travis decided to grow back his beard, but there are things that are more important than how someone looks. Travis is a family man. He is a wonderful father and a caring husband, and that is what matters to his wife the most. Apart from the beard, Connie has nothing to complain about when it comes to Travis, because she has found a perfect soulmate in him. There might come a time when Travis is ready for another makeover. There's always a chance for a new start, and in this case, the face is just right there beneath those beards. We know Connie would be the happiest if Travis decides to do this, but again, no one can tell for sure if he is ever going to shed that hair off his face.